Hi, welcome back. Let's take a look at what JavaScript, or basically the cement and brick that holds the web together, including the HTML, CSS, the browser, and communicating to APIs to make the web more interactive. In this chapter, I will walk you through the agenda. Before going into the details, let's see JavaScript in action to give you a little bit of context around what we are talking about. Again, I will use Try It Editor, powered by w3schools.com. A free front-end learning ground where you can learn and practice. In this example, we'll use JavaScript to display a pop-up when a button is clicked on by the user. On the left, you can see simple HTML that displays some text and a button. Inside the HTML of the button, you can see an onClick event. This is what gets activated when a user clicks on the button. Inside the onClick is a piece of JavaScript, just like you can have inline CSS. This will have a JavaScript alert popped up. So this little piece of programming language actually interacted with the web browser to show us more than just the HTML web page. Alright, time for a definition. JavaScript is an interpreted programming language for the web. Given that it's a high-level programming language, meaning that it's highly abstracted for humans to understand than lower-level ones that are made for machines, JavaScript can update and change both HTML and CSS, calculate, manipulate, and validate data. An important note that you should always remember is that despite sharing the same root name of Java, JavaScript and Java have no correlation or similarities whatsoever in terms of their capabilities and purposes used. While Java is designed to help browsers, virtual machines, or applications, say an Android app, JavaScript is a programming language that allows developers to write code for web interactivity and develops client-side scripts. With JavaScript, you can manipulate HTMLs, the browser, and to talk with services, like APIs that live on other servers. Let's start with a simple example to see how JavaScript manipulates HTML. Here's a simple HTML with a button labeled "What date is today?" This particular JavaScript code first selects an element with the ID of the current time, and that is this paragraph element here. And it then sets the inner HTML property of that element of the value to the date function. The date function is a built-in function of JavaScript that generates the complete current date and time. This results in a web page like this. The complete date and time, including time zone, is displayed as the inner HTML of the demo paragraph. As well as that, the text is inserted within the paragraph element. Now, when you click the button, the onClick event will execute, and that starts the inline JavaScript. Based on the onClick event of the button, you can basically write these inline JavaScript anywhere in HTML, just like you can have inline CSS. This sample JavaScript is used to select an HTML element and alter one of its properties without having to refresh the page. With this simple code, let's move to the JavaScript to another place. Let me think. I will create a function called showDate in the head element inside script tags. This results in the exact same web page as the previous example, but it will call the showDate function when you click on the button. You can see the result is the same. But what if I want to share this function with other HTML documents and other teams? With the same HTML as before, and the onClick element still calls the showDate function, but the JavaScript code itself is now removed from the HTML page to a separate file called a JS file. And here, without the JavaScript, the button does not work, thus brings the need of referencing the JavaScript file. This is very similar to how you can include external CSS in your HTML document. And now you can see this results in the exact same web page as the previous examples. When you separate JavaScript from HTML, the function becomes reusable in this page and other pages as well. So far so good. You've seen that we can use JavaScript to interact with and change HTML. We can also use JavaScript to interact with the browser that runs in it. The JavaScript here will open a pop-up from the window object and ask for your name, which it then stores in the username object. If there was a name entered, the text variable gets the value of hi with the entered name. And finally, this message, including the name that was entered, is displayed in the name element by changing its HTML. When you run this, it looks like this in a web browser. This prompt is no longer in HTML, but is a part of the web browser, in this case, Google Chrome. Along with being able to interact with its environment, the browser, you can also see in this example that we can use variables in JavaScript to have if statements and string concatenations. These are our typical features of a programming language.